Hey guys, Tony T here, and this is a review of John Cena's album "You Can't See Me" with the trademark. Um, I don't really talk about this very much, or I don't think I actually ever talked about it at all on my channel. But I am a big wrestling fan. I have been a wrestling fan for over 20 years. I would say for about since like 02, 03, somewhere around that range. I've been a wrestling fan for that long of my life, and obviously the WWE is what I mainly got into when it came to wrestling. Obviously, I found out like more about more promotions and stuff like that over time as I got older, but I got into wrestling through the WWE, and I'm one of those kids that grew up in the ruthless aggression era, and the top guy that was the top guy during that era was John Cena, and I am full willing to admit that John Cena was my guy as a kid, and to this day, I've been a fan of his, even throughout the years when he was being booed and just not being very much liked by a lot of people. I was always a fan of his, no matter what. So, obviously, I watched his final match last night. I meant to do a review of this album last night when I got home from work, but I was too emotional because of the match, and I was also really tired, so I decided to do it today instead of last night. But we're here. So, yeah, I got to see John Cena live twice, once as a kid and once as an adult. So I'm lucky to even say I got to see him twice. So it's awesome, and just being able to see the man live was something that I just can't explain. And it's crazy to say now that I got to watch his final match last night on Peacock for a Saturday night's main event. And his match with Gunther was so great. It was awesome. I definitely, what a way to go out. What a career. Just everything. Like, obviously he has his acting career with Hollywood now that he's been doing for a while. I would say at least a good 10 years, I'd say now. But now the fact that he's like just full on going with Hollywood and just completely leaving wrestling, it's hitting me now more than it was last night. And it's John Cena is honestly, uh, you know, he's definitely in my top five, if not my favorite of all time. Like, Cena like got me through so much shit, like a lot of people around my generation with wrestling. So it's just like I have that connection with John, and to know that my pretty much my favorite of all time is pretty much completely done. It's emotional, So all I hope for is that maybe sometime in 2026 or 2027, somewhere around the next couple of years or so, he gets inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, because he deserves it. So the amount of contributions that this man has done for not only for the WWE but even outside of it is you can't compare it, in my opinion. You just can't compare it. So here we go. I have his album here. I got the CD. You Can't See Me with his cousin, the trademark, and I'm going to review it and give you my honest thoughts on it. And yeah, here we go. So obviously, the cover of the album is the spinner belt, and honestly, my favorite version of the WWE Championship. I understand it's hated by a lot of people, but it's personally my favorite belt. So yeah, so you got the spinner championship as the main cover, and the spine right here. WWE John Cena and the trademark You Can't See Me with Columbia Records attached to it as well. If you can see that, there you go. And I believe it says the same thing on the spine over here. Yep. Alright. And here's the back right here. Here is John. I believe that his cousin. I believe that is his cousin, the trademark. I believe so. And yeah, again, associated with Columbia Records, with Sony BMG. The album came out in 2005. Crazy to know that this album is now 20 years old. So here we go. Here's the track listing. We have The Time Is Now, Don't Fuck With Us, Flow Easy feature Bumpy Knuckles, Right Now, Make It Loud, Just Another Day, Summer Flings, Keep Frontin' featuring Bumpy, We Didn't Want You to Know, Bad Bad Man featuring Bumpy Knuckles, Running Game, Beamtown. I don't know how to say the guy's name that's featured on the track, so I'm not gonna try. I'm not gonna lie. Um, this is how we roll. What now? Know the rep. Chain gang is the click, and if it all ended tomorrow. Personally, my favorite tracks off this album are, of course, The Time Is Now, Don't Fuck With Us, Right Now, Make It Loud, Summer Flings, Bad Bad Man, If It All Ended Tomorrow, and Keep Frontin'. Those are my personal favorite tracks off the album. But the whole album overall is really, really good in my opinion. Like, it's really good. Alright, here we go. Alright, and there's the CD right here. You Can't See Me, John Cena, the trademark. Alright, right there. And again, the back is literally just the championship right there, which is cool. It all kind of all spines out right here, which is really cool. Go ahead and put this back on there, right there. It's also now. Get a good look at the disc again real quick. Holographic. Yep, okay. And here's the back of the booklet right here. It shows the tracks right here as well. Great. Go ahead and get this out. And here's the booklet right here. Right here, yep. Again, you would find the tracks right here. And all the credits to the tracks. Here. And again, what's really cool is that you have a lot of old pictures of John's younger years, which is really cool. And then you got the pictures over here as well. John and the trademark. Right here, and my personal favorite thing about the booklet here is that when you turn it around, you have it faced out like this. You have that championship belt here. And what's really cool about the detail here is that, yes, you have WWE champion, you have World Wrestling Entertainment, you got the spinner part of it, and you got again the WWE part, and you have SmackDown with the fist here. So this lets me know that this album came out when he was still a part of the SmackDown brand, or, well, I have to look at the date and see when he debuted on Raw in 2005, because I can't remember, but because when he got debuted when he did his iconic debut for Raw in 2005 when he was drafted, this had the Monday Night Raw side on it because it was the main championship on Monday Night Raw, but obviously he was a SmackDown guy first for a few years of his career, so this makes sense that that the SmackDown fist and the SmackDown logo is on the belt for Cena and everything of that nature. So it either came out. Anybody that watches this review, please let me know down in the comments if he was still on SmackDown when the album released, or this was just produced and released after he debuted on Raw. Because I personally can't remember. But no, that's a really cool detail, because I remember Monday Night Raw being on here a lot, but he was a SmackDown guy first, so it makes sense that the fist is right here first. So, yeah. But yeah, so I really like the spine. I really like how everything for the championship belt is literally the whole booklet when you look at it. But yeah, so let me just go ahead and put everything back here. Nope, not like that. Hold on. Yep. There we go. And it's big over here. Yep. Right here. Again, look at everything right here. Yep. Alright. Cool. Alright. And again, that was a review of John Cena's You Can't See Me with the trademark. And, you know, I was listening to the album last night walking home from work, because obviously his match was happening, so I was, you know, pumped up and everything, and then I ended up re-listening to the album again earlier today on YouTube, because I have the CD, but I don't have a CD player anymore, but I am somebody that collects albums, that collects like CDs and vinyls and stuff like that. I mean, if you've seen my videos, you know I'm telling the truth on that, but So I was listening to the album on YouTube, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do the review today because I said I'd do it last night like I planned. So it's just again, it's just I'm a little emotional about the whole thing because it's just literally one of, if not my favorite of all time, is now full on retired from the WWE. And just to say that I got to watch basically his entire career when it comes to wrestling is something I can't say for about a lot of wrestlers that I grew up watching. I I saw them wrestle in the WWE, and I saw a couple clips of wherever else that they would go to after leaving the company, but Cena never left WWE. Once he was signed, he always stayed. But he's always going to be a part of the WWE family because it's they gave him his fame, and now he's an ambassador for the WWE for the next 5 years. So he will still be around, but just not in a in ring aspect. But it's Cena. He's never gonna leave the company full on. So it's like, for anybody that doesn't really know, WWE does partially own his name, and he's okay with that. Like, it's a whole thing. Like, it's cool. But yeah, this is a review of his album. I personally really enjoy it. For anybody that has heard about the album or has heard a couple of tracks, I recommend listening to it from front to back. It's a really good album in my opinion. It's a multi-platinum album. So obviously a lot of people enjoy it. Obviously a lot of people bought it for the sake of the fact that it was John Cena. So that's cool. But in my personal opinion, the album was really great, and I recommend anybody to listen to it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and thank you for everything, John. Thank you for everything, man. Honestly, there will never be another. Thank you, guys. See you later.